set me straight with her technological prowess. So we are back in business. And before we cut out, we were learning about the first time some of these folks ever set eyes on each other. Turns out it wasn't in Dublin, but we're going to hear that story in a moment. I asked Tom when he first saw or remembers meeting or talking to Lindsay. And tell us again how that worked, Tom.
So we were backstage and we were waiting to go out onto the stage. We had never done that before. They kind of were running us through the drills to see, how the lighting would work. And I saw this girl, this absolutely gorgeous, lovely, wonderful looking girl that I just immediately had a crush on. And she was like one row over and a few rows up. And she was wearing this really pretty yellow dress. And we made eye contact on the floor. And I'm like, oh, I really like her. And then I went over to try to dance with her during one of our dance breaks. And she refused to dance with me.
That's not true.
And so I thought, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I misread the situation. And I walked back to my square.
That's
Oh,
not true.
burn.
I didn't know he was trying to dance with me. Like, I have no idea when this happened.
Oh,
I will say I'm a terrible dancer, so it's possible that like maybe he was like putting moves and my dance moves are just so bad that like I didn't even catch on. What I do remember though is that our first real conversation was in like the room where everybody's hanging out at the tables, like,
Mhm.
while you wait to get hair and makeup done and all of that stuff. And we started having a conversation about like how much we liked history. We talked about how we both lived in the East Coast, and stuff. And that was where we exchanged Instagrams, which is really important because yeah, I think we'll let Rita and Keelan get to like their first like meeting with each other, but like us exchanging Instagrams led to like the sliding into DMs, which we can talk about in a little bit.
Awesome. Well, okay, I'll let Keelan and Rita share their first moment story, and then we'll double back and find out how you all are connected in a different way. Go ahead.
Rita, do you want to go? Do you want me to go?
I knew you were gonna say that. I can start. I was very solitary the whole weekend before we started filming. Most of us got there Saturday morning. I got there pretty early Saturday. I made one friend the entire weekend before, and he was not involved with the show at all. Just someone else from the hotel who was there from the Olympics. Um, so I made one Olympic friend. I'm shy. I just didn't like really talk to anyone until we had that big meeting. And I guess I didn't technically know him at the time, but Keelan was organizing everybody for the group photo and getting people into the group chat and asking a lot of semantic questions about the new time boost. And that was, I guess, the first time that I like registered his existence, but I didn't really like talk to anyone still. And I think it was Monday morning when we were filming. We were actually just talking about this like yesterday when we went up to see the like they post on the wall the like map of the board and who's where, and everybody was going up and taking a picture of it and studying it and everything. And do you remember what we just like were chit chatting about something, and you
I
were
think
just
we
like, oh,
just
by the way, I'm Keelan. I was like, hey,
Hey,
my
hey.
friend. I don't remember what it was.
I I'm trying to remember as well. I feel like it was probably the same conversation that we were all having with each other, which was like, "Oh, hey, my name's Keelan. What's yours? What's your category? Oh, where are you at on the map?" Because I remember I think you were standing looking at the map right as I walked up, and I was just like, "Oh, let's make conversation. It's another person. I haven't met you yet." And yeah, I think it was kind of just that typical like, "Oh, what's your category? Like, how'd you hear about the show?" Just kind of the same questions that we had all been asking each other countless times over the last 48 hours at that point.
Yeah, I think that the what's your category is the floor equivalent of what's your sign, right? It was a little
I was
bit,
asking both.
right? It was an easy way to get to know people. It doesn't surprise me that Keelan was the person to make first contact in that way, because I believe you're one of the first people who approached me as well, Keelan. I went down to that lobby, I think one of the first evenings, just to kind of see the hotel and soak up the fact that, oh my God, I'm actually here, and kind of pinch myself because it just felt very surreal, right? I know y'all can relate. And Keelan was studying. I believe you had finals or some kind of midterm project, something. I think you were taking a summer class. I can't recall, but you were working hard trying to finish that while also getting ready to compete. And you popped up from your laptop or whatever and saw me across the lobby and walked over. And you were just like, hey, I'm Keelan. Do you want to get in the group chat? And I was just like, well, okay. What's this thing? You're like, WhatsApp. I'm like, what's WhatsApp? And so, of course, I'm like,
What's
kind of
WhatsApp?
I didn't know the WhatsApp. Apparently, a lot of people who know people
American.
around the world use it. I've just only ever used texting. So
Angie,
I got
I'm just to like add into this. I'm pretty sure you created your first Instagram like right after you filmed the show.
yes.
Because all of a sudden, everyone in our group chat of season 1 was like, "Who's Angie?"
Yeah.
Because you added all of us, and you had this like Instagram with no photos and no friends, and we're like, "Is this a spam bot? Like, what is this?" And then I think I might have been one of the first ones like that you DM'd, and I was like, "No, she's really nice."
I do feel kind of stalkery now that you say that. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I remember they said, "Oh, get your socials ready." I go, "I have Facebook," and they just looked at me like, "No." And I said, "Okay, I guess." I go, "Give me something to do that, like Instagram. It's connected with Facebook. It'll be easier." I was like, "Okay." So I'm trying to call my kid from the hotel, and I'm like, of course, the time difference, everything. I'm like, walk mom through how to set this up. And then I was reaching out. She goes, "Mom, don't reach out to people yet. That's cringy." And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna get these people." And thank God you didn't just delete me wholesale, because as we had a side chat this afternoon, I've been getting some interesting messages, some weird DMs in my Instagram lately, and I think we've all been kind of commiserating over how there's just some different people out there. That's what we say in the Midwest. We say, "Oh, that's different," and it captures a lot of things. But yeah, thanks guys for not writing me off as a total weirdo. But yeah, Keelan was he was our summer camp director. He was our social director, and I thank God for that, because I don't know if I would have met nearly as many people. And so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I know a lot of folks made contact that first night in the hotel. I really didn't go down to the lobby or the bar. I was still just trying to, sleep and figure things out. But eventually I warmed up and loosened up and did some more social things. But I think that was a big part of it. Season 1, folks, did you guys have a lot of like group congregating after filming? Did most people retreat to their rooms? Did you guys end up hanging out in the lobby together? Did you get to kind of know each other more in the evenings than you did even during taping days?
I went down. So I did you get there at 6 a.m.? Because I flew in at I came in at 6 a.m.
I got in at like 2
Same.
a.m.
Yeah,
or 3 a.m. So I went straight to bed.
So I go back to my room at like 6 a.m. I go back down to the lobby, and there are just other people who I can tell are jet lagged as I am. And I'm like, "Are you guys here for the show?" And they're like, "Yes, God, yes. Is this real?" And we were all wondering if it was an actual real thing, because it had never happened before. And so we were all like chatting about what this was. And then they're like, "This is Ireland. Bars are open. Let's go and get a drink." And we all walked down the street. We were staying at this hotel where there are several bars down the street, and we all went down there. And from there, a group of 10 of us kind of went around Dublin. It was a lot of fun, and that's how I got to know the entire group. And the next day we got to know I got to know more people, but I didn't see Lindsay until we were actually on the thing. I didn't see you.
Well, no, I'm saying this is really appropriate because Tom is still the extrovert of the two of us who likes to go out and be social, and I'll be like, "You go have fun. I'm gonna stay home and read my book." And so I was like, you read, I really didn't hang out with people before filming. I went and I explored Dublin by myself and had a great time.
Yep.
I went to the
I had a
castle
solo day.
and I just did stuff by myself. I did not go to the bar the first night or the first day after filming, because I was really I'm gonna study. I studied. I really wanted to do well. But it's funny because the way we started dating kind of relates to everyone going down to the bar, because on the second day, after he had both won episode 2 and been eliminated on episode 3, which were the 2 episodes we filmed that day.
Very roller coaster of a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Roller coaster.
Yes.
He slid into my DMs and he was like, "Come to the bar."
Yes, it did.
Oh.
Because we're downstairs, and so I remember this moment where we were talking on the floor when I had my legs, and remember I would the floor part is raised, so I had my legs dangling off, and as far as I know, I was the only person that was doing that, and you came up and we were talking about, I don't know, probably history, and I think that's when you realized I wanted presidents and not political candidates, and I'm just like, bands. I have a lot of vinyl, I guess. That's yeah. But I have my legs dangling off, and then afterwards, when we got back to our squares, there's just like a big, the voice of God comes overhead and says, also a reminder, don't dangle your legs off the stage. I'm like, oh great, now you tell me. But afterwards, when I got eliminated, and I'm downstairs, and I've had a few Guinnesses, and I text Lindsay because she was not down there, and she was like the one person that I was hoping to see down there. She wasn't, and I texted her. I said, "Hey, I'm not going to see you. If you want to come down and say goodbye." And she comes downstairs and she's like, "I just popped a Xanax. I'm going to go to bed, but I just wanted to say goodbye." And I'm like, "All right," and I hugged her, and that's when you were like, "Oh, I like this person."
Yeah, no, I was as ill prepared for like as I am right now for camera. I did not realize this was a camera thing. So I had like, had my hair up in a bun, all my makeup off, had popped a Xanax because like I needed those to keep me calm throughout the whole filming experience. But I was like, you know what? I really thought he was cute. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna say at least say goodbye to him. And then when I went back up, I was like, I really think I have a crush on him. He just gave me like the best hug I've ever received.
Oh,
He does give really good hugs. Everybody loves him. We'll say that. And yeah, and then the next day, I opened up to Steph, who beat him on horror movies, but him and Steph had gotten quite close. And so I knew that if anybody knew, she probably would. And I was like, I think I have a crush on Tom. And she was like, you do? He told me he thought you were really cute.
oh, that's so awesome. She's like
and-
like a little matchmaker intermediary there.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
And so then Steph and I were like, wait, you know what? This is like really good. We should talk about this while we're filming. So we go back to the floor and we restage the whole conversation. And we're like desperately trying to get the producers to listen to our conversation. Unfortunately, none of it ended up on air, like none of it. But I talked about Tom every single day of filming, from like to Steph to Tucker to Mark. Like I talked about Tom to anyone who would listen because I really wanted it to get some airtime. I talked about him in my exit interview, and unfortunately like nothing ended up getting aired, which I think if we were on season 3 by now they would, because
Yeah.
they're starting to get the banter stuff down like a little bit better.
Yes, I noticed
Mhm.
that in last night's premiere, but that
Yeah, but it
surprises
was like
me.
they really didn't do much of that yet.
Yeah, and they didn't do a lot on our episode. I know a lot of our cutaway interviews, even many people's stuff just never made it to air. And I think that's too bad, because I think that's part of what kind of categorizes it tiny bit as a reality competition game show. It's kind of a hybrid, because I do think you get to stay with us. For some of us, it's, one episode. For some, it's 12. And you do get to know a little bit about each person. But I think it would make the program better if there was a little more of each person revealed,
I agree.
just so there's more buy-in and connection for audience members. But I am surprised they wouldn't have picked up on any side chitter chatter flirty convo. I would think that'd be right up their alley, but you're right, they were
my last
experimenting.
line in my exit interview was like, I may not have won the money, but I did win a date with Tom when I go home. And like, I don't know why they didn't put that.
Oh, that would have been a perfect soundbite.
That would have, yeah, no, that's
Entire time that she was
fantastic.
On the we were texting the entire time that she was on the show. I had gotten back and she was still on the show, so we just constantly were texting. And like by the time she got back, we had already planned on meeting up with each other.
Yep. Which I guess we'll table the story of like how we got together post show so that Rita and Keelan can tell us more about their like experience together in Dublin.
Well, I know that Keelan and Rita were not as public or even gossipy, at least. Well, it could be because I was on the other side of the
Public?
floor for a while. And I do think that may have helped, because Lindsay and Tom were kind of catty corner, and Keelan and Rita were kind of in that same quadrant. So I'm sure that helped a little bit in just facilitating, since we were all standing for hours. But I didn't know diddly squat until I saw some of Keelan's Instagram pics from the party, the viewing party they had out in LA, and I was gobsmacked. I was like, first of all, I was like, oh my God, that is just so perfect, because I just love them both. Like, just terribly much. They're just the sweetest people. And I was like, when sweet people find each other, it just like gives me all the feels. So I was really, really happy. But yeah, you guys, I think you kept it on the down low, or I was just oblivious, which is totally possible because I don't pick up on things all the time.
Like,
Well,
no, you go.
Coaching.
here's the thing. Because there really wasn't anything when we were in Ireland at all. That's why there was nothing to pick up on. We were friends. Like we would chit chat a lot, and like especially being there, another day, another day, another day. It's getting smaller. Like we would talk more. We like sat next to each other on the bus one time, but we were just like besties very quickly, and just to give a little drama to your podcast and put my own self on blast, which Keelan already knows this as well. I did indeed spend a night in a contestant's hotel room, but it was not Keelan. Like, it was literally not. We were platonic best friends.
To like the absolute max platonic possible. There.
Truly. Like, actually genuinely best friends. And it wasn't until like a couple months after we filmed and we got back from Ireland that we sort of, went to Crush Town, but like we, swapped numbers and info as everybody did in Ireland, and we like truly since we left Ireland, we did not go a single day without talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
I
I
think
can tell
Yeah,
in some of our
that's-
group
that's how it
pictures.
starts, though. Like you
Mhm.
get used to that kind of presence. You get used to that kind of companionship, and it just kind of spirals into something else or develops into something more.
I love how
No,
like you
1000%.
think of tropes like Tom and I are love at first sight, and you guys are friends to lovers.
We're not only
Aw.
friends to lovers, but we're also, Keelan, do you want to tell this part? Because I've been talking too much.
Which part are you talking? Because there's like 4,000 tropes that we could refer to here.
Okay, fine. I'll tell. I'll tell
Okay,
it.
wait. I know where you're going with the next story. So the reason that this started, aside from Rita being incredible and me falling for her, was I received a text from one of the producers of the show Tuesday, I want to say, after we had gotten back. So we all left Ireland Saturday, got home Sunday, readjusted, and then I was immediately back at work Monday for our prep week at school. And at the time, we were sitting there, we were doing prep. It was a lot of, administrators and board people talking and kind of giving overviews for the year. And I had my laptop up. I was pretending to take notes, but really I was texting everyone from the show because our group chat was active. We had all just gotten back. It was like one-on-one conversations, last night group text conversations, whole group conversations. We were just going. And I see a text message from one of the producers come in. And it was something along the lines of like, hey, congratulations again. We're like working on the edit, and I heard a little rumor that you had a little showmance blossom for you. Is that true? And my immediate gut reaction and response was, huh? Who? And so that was my response, and the producer was like, oh, must have been our bad, must have gotten wires crossed or whatever. It's all good. And then wouldn't answer when I was like, okay, but like who? Like, who are you thinking? I have to know.
Right. Who told you and who was
You
it
can't
about?
just do that. You can't
Yeah.
just put that out in the universe.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, I heard you have a little like secret romance. No, okay, bye. And I was like, hello?
Right. Yeah. We need to keep
Um,
receipts on that, right? Who's spreading the word?
And so I sent it to a couple people from the show. Just be like, guys, this was crazy. Look at this text I just got. And one of those people is Rita, because we had been constantly texting, even while we were in Ireland, but especially since getting back, like multiple threads on the iPhone type of thing. And I just sent it to her and I was like, you have to look at this. I'm gagged. Jen won't tell me who it is. And we were laughing about it for a little bit, and Rita was like, oh, maybe they thought it was us. Like, we were really close on the floor. We were throwing up little hearts to each other. We were talking a lot. Like, maybe they thought something was there.
Right. We took
And-
like cute photos outside of him like holding me baby style.
Yeah, we
That's
did
the
take a really
picture
cute
I
photo
saw,
on
and
the
I
way.
just
Kiss
thought it
on the
was
cheek.
a friendly shot. Yeah, that's
Right,
a
we
wonderful
took it as
picture.
friends. I have
It was.
my best friend Michael, who was on season 1 that Tom and Lindsay know. I take pictures like that with Michael all the time. And people
Yeah.
are like, who's this? And I'm like, this is my best friend. We do this all the time. But I'm like, oh, that would have been reasonable enough for them to like, maybe they thought it was me.
Yeah. And so we were laughing back and forth, and Rita hits me with this idea. She goes, okay, hear me out. Crazy idea. what if we told Jen there was something between us as a bit to see if we could affect the
Yeah,
edit of the
I
show?
said, what are you doing? Tell them we're in love. Get me more screen time. I'll pretend to date you. We're best friends.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
I
so
think
you're like
that'll be
the,
easy.
the fake couple that becomes the real couple trope too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
That-
Lindsay,
all
when
of
I
that
said there's so
preamble
many
to say-
tropes,
yeah.
I love that
All
trope.
of that to say it's
We're working
the
on
fake
tropes now.
dating
Yeah,
We gotta up our trope
to
game.
real dating fanfic
love
trope.
love at first sight. We need more than that.
Enemies to lovers. You're gonna be my enemy. I'm gonna make you.
Already lovers. We can't go back to enemies.
We are going to lovers to enemies to lovers. It's gonna be great.
Okay. As long as I win.
You already won.
Just to circle back to Rita mentioning Michael. So the funny thing also is that we already knew Rita before she was even casted. So like she's friends with Michael from season 1, who he played Flags. His category was historic headlines, and we love Michael. Like he's our son from the show. And
Did you? So you and Michael, Lindsay and Michael knew him before casting, or Tom and Michael? I
We
know
met
Rita knew
Michael-
Michael, but all.
We
we
met
met
Michael
Michael
on
in
the show.
Dublin, and then Michael introduced us to like his entire circle of friends, which includes
Oh, so Michael was the connection between you
Yeah.
and Rita all along.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. I'm following.
And so while Rita was filming, I was texting her like every day trying to get tea, and she was like, "I have an NDA. I can't give you that much tea." But like, I did get some of the scoop, like the the hotel room with a contestant. But so I tried to get as much tea, but I was just so excited for her to be on the show and like to know somebody else on your season. So it was fun because like Rita and I have become friends through all of this. We were texting during the whole thing. And so then long before her and Keelan were public, she also had already told me that they had a thing, and I was really excited about it. And every day I was like, "Are you guys official? Are you guys official?" And she's like, "No, we're not going to. We're long distance." And I was like, "You guys are going to."
Yeah.
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 So
We
so
said that.
when did you? Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about when you became official. I know okay, maybe this isn't even a phrase anymore, but I know there used to be Facebook official. Now I assume there's Instagram official, and is there
Hard launch.
like
Hard launch. Hard launch.
The hard launch.
Hard launch.
okay,
Yeah.
so like when can you?
launch
I mean,
is
we don't need the date, but I'm wondering how long post return to the States, post airing of the show, what have you, did you decide to like make it a thing and not just maybe an online, flirtation, catching up once in a while? Like when did it become like this is legit? This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
22nd.
what 22nd?
That was our.
That's ours. September 22nd is
Oh.
ours.
That was our official. Our hard launch.
All right, so we have a date, September
That was so
22nd.
quick.
That's awesome. And Rita and Keelan, was it pretty much upon returning for the
No.
most part? Like a little bit after
No,
the
it
Jen
was a slow
conversation
burn.
and stuff, or
It
not
w-
really until
It was a real proper slow burn. Cause yeah, we were like besties when we got back in August. We were pretending to be in love just to like the producers, not like we weren't, doing a whole public fake thing or whatever. But we were besties talking every day through August, September, and then in October, Keelan came out to visit me in New York. I guess like mostly just because we were besties, but also because I had a show coming up and he wanted to come see one of my shows. Tom and Lindsay also came to see me on tour in Philly, which was very sweet.
Awesome.
And so he came and stayed with me in October, and it was then that we were like, okay, maybe we're not fake crushing on each other. Maybe it's not a bit, especially because are we fake crushing on each other if it's like in private conversations? It's not like
Yeah,
fake
with
for
no
other
ears
people's
around, nobody's
benefit.
listening.
It's
Okay,
just,
so
like,
who made the
in-
first like move? Who like went in for the kiss? Who went in for
yeah.
like
Thank
hand-
you, Lindsay.
So-
I was waiting to get there, but I'm so glad you pulled the trigger. I have to know.
I
So-
mean, it depends on what you call the move. Like,
Yeah.
is the move
Did he grab your face? Did you grab his face?
well?
Was like who smooched who?
Give us the
well, what
romance.
happened-
Yes.
Well,
what
this is. I
happened
think this is.
I said, I'm this close to his face. I said, do it. You won't.
Oh, all right.
And so, does that count? Is that me, or is that
I
him?
kind of think you're the instigator, but
I think it's
Keelan
gotta be.
clearly pulled the trigger. I'm proud of you, Keelan, making that happen.
I mean, I would give full credit to Rita there because historically and in this instance as well, I have never been very aware of when I'm into someone that they're also into me. Like it's just I'm always like Tom's my guy.
That's
Like I'm always just like it'll be so easy to just be like, oh yeah, that means nothing. That's just a joke. Like I think Rita had sent, you had sent multiple like pretty flirty messages right before the New York trip. There was like one time where he was like, "Oh man, if the photos we don't send the producers are convincing enough, maybe we have to kiss in them."
Yeah,
and I'm
I
like,
said if they cut my beef with Rob from episode 3, we have to kiss on the mouth. I said,
yeah, and I was like, "Oh, haha, that's she's obviously just making a joke. There's no way she's also reciprocating." And
Well,
so
I'll
it
say-
was probably needed for Rita to say, "Do it."
I had a tiny clue, and you guys can tell me if this timeline is right. So one of the many side group chats we have on our WhatsApp is the New York Times puzzle chat, where we all weigh in on connections and I call it spanogram, but strands, Wordle, of course, and whatever else people are doing. And I remember, because Rita is a freaking genius at the mini crossword, she was getting sub 20-second scores like crazy.
On average, sub 20,
average.
sometimes even way
Yeah,
lower.
I'm really fast
And
on
less.
that too.
Yeah, and Keelan kept saying something like "How?" question mark, "Why?" question mark, "What?" question mark, and all these emojis like mind blown, etc. And I kept thinking, yeah, I mean, I'm a fast reader, and I don't know how she's doing it. Not that I doubted you, Rita. I just was like, I just didn't get it. And then I realized by happenstance that there's this almost recycle icon at the top right corner of the game where you can restart the game after you've completed it. And it restarts the timer like it's a brand new game. So if you've played it once, you can hit that and go back and put all your answers in as fast as you can and get like a sub 20. And I thought, I bet Rita's just messing around with Keelan and using the rewind button and getting these fast scores just to mess with him because he seemed so shocked. Do you remember this, Rita, early on? Like that
I
Keelan was just
would
always like,
never.
how? Well, I didn't mean that you would do it
I would
duplicitously. I meant
never.
you would do it as just getting under his skin. And so
am
I
just
I like private messaged Keelan and I said, Keelan, dude, I think I figured it out. I think she's hitting this button. And then Keelan said, oh, no, I've seen her do it. It's legit. And then I thought, wait, you're in California. She's in New York. What do you mean you've seen her do it? And in my mind, I thought, that's weird. And then I thought, huh. And so I'm wondering if that coincided with that visit or like you had been spending some time together and had watched her do it. But that was the first inkling I had that you guys were just spending more time together somehow than was apparent. And I just thought that was really cute because I'm trying to solve the mystery. And I'm like, there's a bigger mystery here than Rita's super speed at a mini crossword. But anyway,
You were trying to solve the wrong mystery.
I was.
Yes.
I was.
She noticed there was a mystery, but then turned the entire other
Yes.
way to go search a different mystery.
We
I did. So Tom and Lindsay, you guys play the New York puzzles?
We love connections.
Yeah.
We do connections together. We haven't in a while, so I think actually we have they have the archive, so now we can go back and do like 50 connections.
And it'll be new for you. You can do like 50 a day and binge it.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, this is a love connection we're talking about, so it totally makes sense that you'd be into that.
I like actual like physical crosswords. I can't.
He has a book.
I don't like doing it on the phone just because that just to me doesn't feel like I'm doing it. So I have my like a book that I bring around, and like I'm actually halfway through right now, so I have to.
It's like me and like the Kindle. I never got into the Kindle because I'm just too much of like I just love it's like book porn. It's like I just need you got to smell the pages, you got to flip the pages. It's like a whole old school thing for me.
I have an original like that. What is that? The paperweight screen Kindle.
Yes.
From like when they first. I still have mine, and I find it's great for travel. But yeah, no, I want a physical book.
Yeah, I agree.
Me too.
But Rita, I'm just for everybody listening, you are legit. I still don't know how you do it because even when I type as fast as I possibly can, I just can't. And it's like a mission, like to even get close to Rita. I've given up trying to beat you. It's just if I can get within 15, 20 seconds, I feel validated for the day. It's like you really set the bar high every morning. I want you to know that.
You should start
Start
sending.
playing
Yeah,
yeah.
Rita. I think Lindsay's going to start sending you her times because she's
Oh,
also very
please.
fast. So
Add me to your
Oh.
leaderboard.
I
I'm
feel
so
like we're
down.
two of a kind. Like Rita and I are very similar. Again, we're like introverts who hung out in Dublin by ourselves and like board games and have extrovert boyfriends.
Keelan, what are you doing when you come to New York? You and me, eh?
Oh, absolutely. We're just hanging out the whole time.
Absolutely.
I do want to circle it back though to Keelan saying like he has no idea like when somebody likes
We don't
him or
have to tell
something
the-
like that.
We don't have to tell
Because,
the story.
So
Oh, I think we have to tell it now, Tom. I'm sorry.
texted Tom. So I made the move
Yes.
with
So
Tom.
she slid. So when
Um,
she said like, "Oh, he slid into my DMs," I'm like, "No." I said, "What are you doing? Like, come on downstairs." That's not sliding into a DM.
Okay, well,
she slid into.
I
my
slid
DM.
into the DM. So after Steph had confirmed that he thought I was cute, I had the confidence and I was like, okay, I think he does. I think he likes me. And I also get the feeling he's never going to make a move on me unless I do because like
Never.
he's not going to. So I message him and I say, and Steph and I had talked about it while we were filming. So I messaged him and I said, so I may or may not have admitted to having a crush on you on national television.
Oh,
And he responds, he's like, you did not. And I'm like, yes, I did. Like, and it starts a conversation. We start talking, and at this point, I think we're flirting. I don't know what he thinks is going on, but then
I'm on an airplane. I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah, sure.
uh,
I'll keep for this for a little bit. Someone that beautiful. Yeah.
So then the next day I was like, okay, I'm going to start really like talking about this while we film because I really wanted to get this airtime and it didn't work. But I messaged him and I was like, hey, I just want to make sure that you're okay with me talking about like having a crush on you on TV, like that I have your consent to do this and it's not gonna like embarrass you or anything. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. Like you go ahead and keep pretending to have your fake crush for like TV ratings on me.
Almost word for word, exactly
Yeah.
what I said.
And I was
yeah,
like,
just keep your
smooth.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, no, it's a real crush. And he's like, what? No one ever has a crush on me.
I don't even think.
I don't believe that, Tom. I think Tom's oblivious. I'm sure there were lots of moments where people, I mean, Lindsay, I hope it's okay to say Tom's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked to think that he thinks nobody would have paid attention, but I'm
There
glad
was
he was
a
oblivious to them because
Reddit
that made
post
space
about
for you.
Tom. There was a Reddit post that was like, does anyone know like Tom from season 1's Instagram? And I was like, back off, bitch.
That's actually so funny because that happened to Tommy on season 2. So
Yeah.
It did. Yeah, Tommy got hit on a lot.
Man too.
Yeah.
Like
It's a Tom thing. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's the beard.
also
It's the
someone
Tom and
on-
the beard thing. I think it's
Someone on
what
the
gets
subreddit
the
just
ladies.
said- Someone on the subreddit.
That's why
just said,
Keelan's got the beard now. See, he's picked up on that.
You're welcome.
Oh, see? Let me say
I
something.
Well,
have
okay,
been
hold on.
queer-eyeing this man steadily over the course of several months. If you like his hair, if you like his new clothes,
I love his
You're
little
welcome.
curls.
To
You're
be
welcome.
fair,
Thank
Rita
you, Rita.
deserves credit for like 99% of this, but the beard is not one. The only reason the beard is not on the show, because this is what it was like before the show,
Oh,
was on a phone conversation with someone before the show, but someone related, and I genuinely forget who. They were like, yeah, you may want to like clean up your facial hair a little bit. And in a panic of like, I'm going on national television, I don't know what to do. I was like, okay. And I just shaved like 90% of it off, losing any semblance of a fake jawline that I had. And so I get back and I start growing it out, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, Keelan, why didn't you do that before? And I was like, no, this is what I've been doing for like a year or two now.
yeah, I'm a fan. I like my guy has a facial hair too, and but it's soft. It's not the scratchy kind. It's like the good kind of pet.
Yeah.
You pet them. Like they're your little.
I
But yeah,
shaved-
I'll take credit for this, but Rita gets credit for the rest of it.
Nice work, Rita. Well done,
Thank you
dear.
so much.
Well done.
So,
I shaved my beard in October.
here I have
Yeah,
I
I'm
have
trying to find a
pictures.
picture of it.
So he's shaved his beard off, like his facial hair off, one time since we've been dating. He's actually not allowed to do it again. Not because, not because I don't like how he looks with it, but because when it was growing out, it was so scratchy, it was painful that I was like, you can never do this again.
So
Yeah, it's sandpaper.
this is us. This is us in Xochimilco in Mexico. I had shaved my beard. I shaved half of it for because I'll bring up
Okay,
that picture.
wait,
too.
I got that one.
Yeah.
So,
So-
here's us in Mexico City. We did
Oh, I
Day of the
remember
Dead.
that. It's a gorgeous makeup job.
And
That's
so
awesome.
he shaved half of his face to have half of a skull look. And
'Cause I saw it when the makeup goes on the beard. I did not like that, so I'm like, no, I'm gonna
Yeah.
shave and then I shaved the whole thing off, and I look like that. Now that
Oh
looks
my,
that looks
oh my
exactly-
gosh.
yeah.
Now, for folks listening to the podcast after the YouTube, they're not going to see it. It's like a sight gag, but wow, what a difference that makes.
Yeah, I look a lot like my father, and but the problem is that once that starts to grow back in,
no, he's not allowed to shave it again.
it becomes a weapon. And so at times I would literally grab her face and just rub my face.
Oh, the burn. I can feel that stinging already. No.
Now I'm not allowed to ever
No,
shave
he can't
again.
shave.
Well,
That
I
is
don't
that
think
is
he's
like
gonna-
classic boyfriend behavior, though.
Yeah, that's rough. The scratch is real. The scratch is real. So I gotta ask you guys. I remember vaguely. I think Lindsay, were you still in the Pacific Northwest when you guys came back from Dublin, or had you already relocated to the East Coast? But you were traveling a lot, right?
Yeah, so I've always been a big traveler.
Yeah, your Instagram's freaking stunning.
Thank you.
You give me like such wanderlust every time I see it pop up, and I'll
Thank
put a
you.
link to your Instagram, of course, on the podcast. But it's one of my favorite things to see just visually. It's stunning. You do really good
Thank
stuff.
you.
You're welcome.
So no, I've lived in the East Coast for the last 8 years in New York City, and then I guess I've been basically living in Philly for over a year at this point, because I never leave his place. Our place.
Our place now.
But I left the Pacific Northwest when I was 18. The funny thing is they had so many people from New York on my season. They were like,
I figured they did it for geographic
somewhere else.
diversity.
I was like, we can use my hometown of Tacoma, Washington, which
that
I
makes
am
sense.
super proud to rep. I am actually a Seahawks fan, but I rooted for the other birds of green last night.
Nice. Well, you all, and I know, Rita and Keelan, you're on opposite coasts for now, but both of you pairs, what kind of advice would you give to some long distance romances out there? Thinking of those high school seniors in love who are about to graduate and decide how they're going to manage when they leave home for college, or
Great
any of the adults out there who've met people online and are just struggling to make it work. What would be your best advice for them?
I don't even know if this can count as advice, but I'm grateful every day that we were genuinely best friends before we started dating, because we still are best friends at the same time, which is very new to me in my dating history and very exciting. And we
Makes a
talk
world of
every day,
difference.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
you don't have the physical being in the same room, chemistry, whatever, all the time. So when that's what you rely on in a relationship, that shows. Because when you're apart and you can just really just be interested in each other and just kick it without any of the input, it's when you really have a strong friendship at the root of it, that's okay, this is actually something that can last and can withstand. And just we truly, because when he came here in October, we were oh, we have a crush on each other, but we were we live in separate coasts. We really love being best friends. We don't really want our relationship to change. I don't think we need to try and make this into something. We just met.
Yeah, it's we've
We
known
don't
each other
need
2
to-
months.
Right. I met you in July and it was October. But then, by the time December came around, we were okay, we definitely are feeling stronger things for each other. And it feels right to, make this something official. But, because there's all the reservations of oh, long distance is so hard. But we kind of accidentally did it for 2 months before we actually did it. So we were oh, maybe it's not that hard. Just kind of enjoying hanging out with each other. And we go to the movies on Tuesdays and see the same movie in our separate time zones and
that's
call
really
about the
cute.
movie. Right? That was when we were not dating. That was as best friends. It's are you sure? It's no, we know. We're basically dating. So just being able to really have a friendship at the basis of everything is just has made everything else so much easier. And also, if you just have it would be really helpful to anybody out there listening if you just have a spare $250,000 that could go toward like plane tickets or
I
like
was
things
gonna.
like
I
that.
didn't want to bring that up. I know, Keelan. Of course he won, but he won our hearts before he won the money, and I really mean that, Keelan. You know that. I love you. And I just was thinking, I'm not going to talk about that like that because I think we all won different things. Like we all took things away, but it is interesting to know that it does help. It helps to have a little extra cash to make those things happen. And I'm super glad that ended up being part of the prize package is
He
the
won't
chance
stop
to get
buying
to
me
see each other
things.
more. That's awesome.
He will not stop buying me things. Everybody who said on the show, "Oh, I'm gonna play the long game," I played the long game.
Rita's the strategic one of the season. Nobody saw it
The long
coming.
game.
So funny.
Well, because
Um,
I want to say something about Keelan really quick,
Please.
but I have to plug in my laptop. Because Keelan, I said this on my Instagram post when he won, but Keelan, in my opinion, won the show not just because he was great in his category and won every duel that he played, but also because when you're deciding who to challenge, if you're between two most people had a couple different options that they were thinking about, and at the end of the day, you're gonna pick the option that you're like more cool with that person going home. And like I think the primary reason why Keelan made it to the end is because nobody wanted him to leave.
Aw.
Everybody wanted him to stay around because he's just a great person and he brought everybody together, and my shy ass got to make a friend on day one because he didn't just leave a conversation at, a little exchange. We, got to know each other, and what I also wanted to say was like the real reason, I guess, why we were like pretending to be dating to get me more screen time is because when I got eliminated, I was like, oh, you go win it. And he's like, I'm not gonna win. I'm like, you could win it. He's like, well, if I win, I'm funding your album, because he had just heard some of my music on Spotify,
and her music is
like
amazing.
liked it.
FYI, like
Amazing.
she's so good.
Oh
She
my gosh,
made
yes.
my Spotify like top playlist last year,
Yep.
like legit.
Oh my
like,
god, yes, I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, like on my like top songs of 2024. Like she wasn't in my top 5 that like announced her, but she was like really close.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, her
honored to be
your
nominated for the Wrapped.
your
Well-
September song was like the theme music to every floor like promo I was doing on Instagram for the whole month of
Oh
September.
yeah,
and I
Angie
had
was
it in my
Angie
head.
was
I was
pumping
singing it.
those numbers up for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That was
Well,
so
I mean,
awesome.
and just to shout out Rita there, obviously I am biased when I say her music's fantastic,
Here you go.
but all bias aside,
Home,
yeah,
play that.
stream it.
Love Me in September. It's my favorite.
Saying that. I'm listening. I'm listening.
But yeah, all bias aside, like I remember pretty early on in Ireland, we were talking and you had mentioned you were a singer, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love music. Send me your link. And you did, like you sent me a WhatsApp with it. And I remember listening to it. And again, this is before I was like crushing on Rita, or at least consciously crushing on Rita. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is good. And like, I've had a lot of friends who make music who are really talented and I support, and it's great. But like, there was just something about Rita's music that I'm like, this has this it factor that I haven't heard from someone else before. And as other members of our Flormally started listening to it that week, they all had the same reaction. And it wasn't just like, oh my God, this is so good. You're so great. Look at you. Everyone was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Rita's got
very good.
really good. What? Huh?
And
And
the kind where you're just like, yeah, it's good because like they're right there in front of you and you have to tell
Right.
them it's
Right.
good. Like it's actually really good.
But we
Well,
saw
yeah,
it.
and it's like people were saying
this
this.
is, like actually good.
Yeah, like people were like shocked and telling me, "Oh my God, this is good." When Rita wasn't even there, and again, we weren't a thing at that point. People didn't think we were a thing, so they had no reason to lie to me, being like, "Guys, you have to listen to this."
Right.
Well, and I remember the producers really fashioned Rita as a Disney princess-esque type, right? They put the bow in your hair and boom, you're Ariel, right?
I
And I
actually
think-
did bring my own bow. That's
No.
the one thing. I'm not a real Disney adult. I do wear a lot of bows.
You do wear a lot
But
of bows.
yeah,
Well, you
but
looked
yeah.
the part and you were adorable. And I'll never forget the way you were playing the duel and you're like, Woody, Chip, Dale. And it was
have
just, I was like, oh
no
my God,
voice
she's so
left.
adorable. But your music has more maturity and soul to it that I think caught me off guard. I kind of expected a little more, maybe just poppy, which would have been great
Yeah.
and fine. But when I listened, I was like, Oh, this has like old soul vibes, and it really didn't quite
Yeah.
match the persona they kind of gave you or you
Yeah.
played into on the show. And so that I think made it even more special. As I was like, oh, I'm getting a different
Thank
version of
you.
you, and kind of getting to really listen to what you're passionate about. So
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
really
even
love it.
on purpose. I had no voice at all by the end of the week. I think just from not sleeping and having tension and not drinking enough water, I had no voice. And in order to make any sound come out, I had to like Ariana Grande it and like like really pitch it up
So
and
that's why
put
your
it
register was so high.
right to make any sound at all. That's just like how I had to make noise. And so I sound so silly. And even Kevin was like making fun of me for like kind of like leaning on the podium and like kind of sticking my little ducktail out. He's like, you're standing like a little fairy. I'm like, I'm little and I was trying to reach over the podium because I really couldn't see. The screens are so far. I was just like trying to get as close as I could. I'm like, I fashioned this like little Tinkerbell sort of character by complete accident out of myself, but it worked, I guess. It worked for the Disney, but yeah,
Well, you
I'm a
were super
gritty little
adorable, and
silly
of course,
funky
Keelan got
guy.
a front row seat, being in the front of the floor the whole time. So I thought that was great, and I know that Lindsay, you got super compliments on your dress too. I think so many people were interested, and I think you said maybe it was on Instagram or I just heard somebody mention it because when we were talking about wardrobe for our show, because we had to buy two outfits, right? Two identical outfits. And I think you did like Rent the Runway or
Yep.
Stitch Fix or something like that, where you were able to order both dresses. But that was a stunning outfit too. And you really
Thank you.
popped in your corner. So you ladies, both in your dresses, were really bringing it.
It was from Rent the Runway, so it was nice because then I could just rent two of the same thing, not buy two outfits, send it back. Pretty much like 90% of the stuff I wear is Rent the Runway. I really like that it is one, I live in New York City and I don't have much of a closet to keep clothes in, so it's nice to just return the rentals. You get to change your wardrobe out all the time. I save a lot of money on shopping by only renting and having that monthly membership. And I also like the eco-friendly part of it because I've seen all those pictures of like the clothing waste in like the
Oh
deserts
my,
in
yes.
South
Fast
America. Like
fashion,
it
all
really
of that.
upsets me. So I really really am like all about renting and curating my closet. Like I buy things only when I travel. Like I'll buy pieces when I've traveled to different countries, but I try to be pretty like eco-conscious with my wardrobe.
I'm glad, and obviously I'm not pitching any particular product, but I do appreciate any business that is more about people than profit and just trying to create sustainability for consumers and producers alike. So, I'm glad to know that that's part of helping the whole fast fashion crisis,
Yeah.
among other crises we've got going on. So, in the time we have, I want to ask two questions. I want to know if
Okay.
you have plans for Valentine's Day, long distance or not, and how you're going to handle that. And if you want to give a little bit of a plug about the things you're up to or things you've got coming up around the corner, what you're looking forward to in 2025, anything like that, please feel free to share. How about we start with Tom and Lindsay? What are your plans for V Day?
I am taking Lindsay out for dinner. I am not going to say where because it's going to be a surprise. And I also have gotten her a few small things. I do tours out to Amish country, so I was able to pick up some things out when I was out there last that I know that she likes. So it's not gonna be, they're not big surprises, but they're gonna be pleasant surprises.
Let me just have a very quick aside and tell you that Amish country is an interesting trigger for me. My parents decided that on my spring break, freshman year of high school, that they were going to take me and my little sister to Amish country. And I just have to say, it was not what my high school self had envisioned for a spring break experience. And then fast forward like 10 years, I moved to Iowa for grad school. And lo and behold, I'm like right next to Kelowna and the Amana colonies.
Mm.
And dang, do the Amish know how to make some wine.
Oh my God,
Tell
they
you that.
their
The fruit
products
wines
are
are
great.
out of this world. So I'm a big
Hmm.
fan now. I mean, it took me a while, but I'm a fan of the horse and the buggy and the simplicity of life and the fruit wine. Got to say.
As oh, he also forget we're doing
We're
a
doing
spa
we're doing
day
spa
on
day.
Saturday,
Yeah.
so I'm really excited about that.
Is that like a couples massage thing?
Yeah.
Facials, the whole shebang?
Just couples massage. We actually have a better spa day planned because we couldn't get one on that day at this cool spa called Sojo, which like if you're in New York, it's the one that's like on the other side in New Jersey that has the view of the city. Um, I will recommend
Yeah,
it to you
it's-
guys
yeah.
like offline. Sojo Club and Spa. It's like a day spa that is amazing and it has all like the hot pools and stuff, but you get the view of the Manhattan skyline because it's like on the
Whoa.
other side of the river in Jersey. So we're doing that too. As far as plugs, I think the biggest plug for me is, as you mentioned, my Instagram. I post my travels and I post history. I really try to make Instagram an educational place. So whenever I'm posting a picture from my travels, which includes the outfits that I put together, generally rented, I will put fun facts about the place that I'm visiting. Right now, I've been posting about North Macedonia. And then I think the next one I'm going to post is probably Thailand and Costa Rica are probably next up on the docket of what I'll be posting. And then I also want to give a shout out to my girl on season 3. Pay attention to Safat. She's one of my best friends. She has Met Gala as a category, and
Oh, that's okay. Good, good.
so excited to watch her on this show because like she is one of the very first friends I introduced Tom to. I'm really excited.
Oh, that's so awesome. Did you recommend her to production and it kind of worked
she
that way?
was my only person that got on the show.
Oh,
Like,
that's
people I recommend.
fantastic. Yeah, I have to say, the way that you curate your outfits to match the architecture and the
I
landscape,
work really hard on it.
she's-
no
it's like-
kidding. It doesn't
like a
happen by
skill.
accident. Like, there's a
Like
lot
that.
of method to that.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
So like she'll go on to, before we go anywhere, she'll go on to the runway, and she will go through this entire list, and she'll break it down to like at least 2 per color that like, and she's like, all right, what about this one? What about? And she goes through this entire thing. It's an absolute skill set, and it flabbergasts me every single time.
Well, it is, like I said, it's freaking beautiful. I mean, every image is just stunning. So that was really cool when I first started following you on Instagram. Like, wow, she's pretty and she's got all this fashion going on, and look at her traveling everywhere. I thought you were pretty great. And then Tom's a little more quiet on socials, but what do you do, Tom? What are you into right now? Are you still
All right,
tour
so-
guiding?
Yeah,
And
so this is the dead time for tours, especially in Philadelphia. It's cold, it's rainy. I only had like 1 tour this week, so I've taken this time. I finished my manuscript for a novel that I'm writing, and I'm going to be working on the second draft. Really starting next week because next week is like dead. We have like nothing going on.
do you have an editor?
I do not have nothing like that. So
If you need an editor, even pro bono, send it to me. I mean, I've been my PhD's in English, and I've worked for a number of journals, some academic, some creative. I teach full time, and I have a business on top of it. But I love reading new stuff. And if you just want another
Amazing.
set of eyes, even if you just want copy edits, if you just
Well,
want somebody
yeah,
to proof it, I'm here. I'm just saying, don't
Yeah,
hesitate to reach out.
I'll
Right.
echo what Angie said there too. Much less experienced, but I have way too many books for my own good. So if you want a second set of eyes on it, just to be like, oh, I found this interesting. Oh, I didn't realize how you like. Let me know. I'm gladly will pick up a book for you there.
Yeah,
He
I
has
gotta.
over
I'm
600
working on the second draft, so that'll be my next thing, and then I'll be ready for people to start like.
Good. You know what? Everybody writes for an audience. That's what I tell my students all the time. You're writing for consumption, so the more consumers you can get feedback from, within reason. Too many cooks can spoil the pot, and ultimately, creative license is yours. But I'm offering, if you ever feel like shipping it to a kind ear, I'm happy to help you out. So I think that's great. Congrats, because
Yeah.
it's a big deal to set that goal and complete it. So well done, you. That's not easy.
It's really cool. It's a fantasy detective novel. So
Oh, well, in that case, I'm kidding.
Is it like
I'll totally read that. That's
I was gonna say,
great.
is it very like Harry Dresden, Jim Butcher esque, or
So at first I started going for like Harry Dresden, and then as I was like finishing it up, I realized I wanted more fantasy. So like it was like less fantasy, more like a Victorian or 1920s noir. And as I got to the end, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this change. I want it to be much more fantasy. So it's going to be much more fantasy than those fantasy noir novels.
yeah,
Like,
that kind of like urban
elves
fantasy
and orcs
subgenre?
and
So yeah,
stuff.
so the elves,
Yeah.
orcs, dragons flying around. So really, what I want is it's going to be set in a regular fantasy world, and there's just or a D&D world, and there's just like a detective working as well.
So it's like George R. Martin meets Dashiell Hammett.
Kind of like
I was
that.
gonna say it's like
but he finds like all the adventurers annoying. Like he's like oh great, so you guys are gonna go after that magical amulet. I'm trying to figure out who killed the baker. All right,
Okay.
like leave me alone. Like
it's
love it.
it's giving Terry Pratchett and Samuel Vines in the
Yeah.
He
best of
loves
ways.
Terry
Yeah.
Pratchett.
Terry
Love it.
Pratchett, Samuel Vimes, that's very much more the speed that I'm going.
Wait,
for.
I
Tom,
cannot wait.
Tom,
for
did
it.
we just become best friends?
Yeah.
No, like,
Okay, cool, cool.
Sam
Save it for
I just had
brunch,
to
guys.
confirm.
Save it for brunch.
All right,
I
yes.
feel like I need to leave the room and just give you guys some space here.
We're actually going on a double date in 10 days when they are out east. So I'm really excited.
Oh, all right. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to a group shot.
I asked
You
for
got
the
to
24th.
take a group
Oh, that's
picture.
right. I totally forgot.
Which kind of feeds into our Valentine's Day plans there. Spoiler, I'm flying out to visit Rita. So I'll be catching a red eye Thursday night, which as of the time of recording, we're doing this on a Monday, so that's 3 days from now.
Yep.
So I catch a red eye, and then so I'll land Valentine's Day morning, and we'll spend Valentine's Day together, and then hang out over that weekend. But then Monday to Wednesday of that following week, we're gonna go up to like the Hudson Valley, and just kind of take a little turn our phone off, dopamine reset retreat for a few days, and it'll be wonderful.
It's so nice up there.
All right, so how far up the valley are you going to go?
We're going to only like an hour and some change. It's not like all the way up to like Catskills or anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a town across the river from West Point, which is like the ideal harbor town. It's such an adorable, really romantic place. I believe it's called Cold Harbor, but
If it's
been
Cold
there.
Spring,
Cold Harbor.
I go there. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say if it's Cold Spring, I love Cold Spring.
Wait, you're right. It's
I
Cold
go there
Spring.
a bunch of
You're
times
absolutely right.
for a
Oh,
bunch of
you
times
have
a
the
year.
succulent. Oh, you have the centerpiece, Lego centerpiece.
We're gonna cook dinner and build Legos together.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you've just described
Valentine's Day.
my perfect Valentine.
Can't recommend it enough. Can't recommend it enough.
I
Heard,
love it.
Lindsay. Heard.
I love it.
the heck just happened? You want to see what she got me for Christmas?
Oh,
Oh wait, is he gonna show us
Hold
a set you got? I gotta see it.
So here, this is what she got me for.
Oh, dude, the Millennium
I
Falcon.
love.
So this one's really cool, but then I got this one for Christmas too, because I just love stuff like this. And I really
Wait, hold on. While Tom's grabbing that, I'm gonna grab Rita's present for me for
Okay,
Christmas.
okay,
Oh my
go
God.
get it.
This
Oh
is
my
like the
God,
part
look
of
at this
Monsters
one
and
that we got
Friends.
for Christmas.
It was just showing Sully all her toys.
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Barad-dûr Tower.
This is
Oh.
so heavy.
Dude, you know
just
Lord of the
put
Rings is gonna
LED
be a
lights
4
on
category
his-
one of these days.
Oh my God. Keelan just put lights, like little LED lights,
Oh, yeah, I
scrolling
got
through
those
his
too.
massive Lord of the Rings Lego set.
I
last
got
week.
that's
him.
awesome.
We have the lights
is-
for the Millennium Falcon. Oh my
Oh,
God.
you do?
Keelan,
Oh
you're
my god.
Brad.
Okay, wait.
East, not just
Dude,
for
Keelan,
Rita,
this is
but
gonna
for
be awesome.
Tom.
Tom, I do have to warn you, the lights are incredible and it will likely drive you insane.
Oh, that's fine.
I spent like 5 hours meticulously pulling apart individual Lego bricks to like put wires through.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. What did you get? Do you want to show us what you got, Rita? Or is it a spoiler?
Oh no, this is what Rita got me for Christmas. Since Tom was showing off Christmas presents, I was just gonna.
What you got? What you got?
So, again, Rita came out for the finale out here.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had been crushing, we'd been talking, we'd basically been long distance dating, but pretending that we
Right.
weren't for 2 months.
We weren't actually official until after I got back from San Diego. So this was still just a gift. Just
Yeah.
for a
Just
to give a
a
friend.
little
gift.
thinking about you, buddy, kind of
Right.
present.
And so Rita knew that one of my goals in life is I want to have my own library, which you can classify when you hit 1,000 books.
Yes, you can. That is very cool.
Uh-huh. And I'm currently over 60% of the way there. It's not a problem.
Yay.
But Rita, without me mentioning it, because I had seen something like this online for forever and wanted to get it, but never even not even like a casual, like side dropping conversation kind of thing. She saw and got me a personal book embosser.
Oh, awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to pull the book I'm reading out right now because I've been stamping them as I go. But it is It is beautiful. So it says, I don't know if you can catch it there.
Yep, hold it right there. Yes.
The
Oh, I
library-
love it
It's
so
from the
much.
Library of
So
Keelan Bunny
cool.
Aaron Cook. It's got these mountains with the little stars above, which she got because I had mentioned, again, in passing, mentioned this comment of like, oh, reading in the outdoors, I really tie together. I love reading outside, etc. And this girl not only hunts down the website that will fit my name on it, because most of the websites that were making these don't fit my long name. But she also then was like, oh, Keelan Associates Reading with the Outdoors. I'm going to do that. And so she got me this in like the first day visiting, gave it to me, and it is truly one of the greatest gifts I've ever had.
That is
Aw,
amazing,
makes
and
me
I
so
would-
happy. There's nothing like marking your book with the embosser and just it's just it's like the best feeling. And I love the symbolism in there. You did so good, girl. That's
That
a
is
great gift.
amazing.
She
Now,
really
I have
did.
to say, my guy, we'll be together 11 years next month. I'm divorced, by the way. I was married for 20 years, got divorced, was God blessed to find love again. And he's getting a 3D printer with like all the deals, and we're gonna start making like mini figs and like tabletop game figs and like just cheesy like like super geeking out stuff. So I'm pretty stoked about what's going to happen with that. That's kind of the thing we do together. That, and then we just watch TV like everybody else. Find some cool shows
It's-
to watch.
Wait,
I just
did
finished
you-
Bad
Angie, when
Sisters,
you-
by the way. I just wanted to say, Lindsay, did you guys see Bad Sisters? Because it's set in Ireland. Sharon Horgan is the writer. She did Catastrophe and some other things. It's on Apple TV, and it's Bad Sisters. They just finished season 2.
Okay.
But
Wait,
strongly
did you
recommend,
finish
just
out?
because we spent time in Ireland and we have an appreciation for that now, and it's funny. It's a dark black comedy. I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah,
Awesome.
that's what we just finished binging, and the 3D printer arrives this week. It should be here for
Cool.
Valentine's.
Sounds
So
awesome.
I'll post some Instagram
Angie.
goodies of things that we can make together. But yeah,
I was gonna say, when you get the printer, let me know, because I used to work at a makerspace before I moved down to San Diego,
sweet.
and it was one of my favorite things to do was work with like the 3D printers that we had for a summer camp I was running.
Well, if we
And so
need
I would love to
troubleshooting,
just, like, see
or
what it is.
we run into glitches, I'll shoot you a note and ask for some advice, because it's kind of a new thing to us. We were just trying to find something fun that we could do together. So I think it'll be
Perfect. And when you shoot me a message, I'll pass it on to my old boss and be like, hey, remind me, what do you do with this? I haven't done this in 5 years.
See, the formally, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Honestly, people ask me, they're like, what was your strategy going in? What were your strategies? And I'm sure you all get asked that, aside from, is Rob Lowe as handsome in person and all the other things we get asked.
I get that question every single time.
know.
Every
Time, right?
Every single time.
And they'll say, well, what was your strategy? What was your strategy? And I said, you know what? It would have been great to win. I said, but I went in there and I have a 1 in 100 shot of winning, but I have 100% chance of making new friends. Like, that was totally my perspective. I mean, I just went there with this chance to expand my horizons and meet people I probably wouldn't meet otherwise. So I was like, it was 1% or 100%. I was like, it was a no-brainer. I'm going to make as many friends as I can, play the best I can along the way, and whatever happens, happens. But the fact that we still keep our WhatsApp live, and that you guys are willing to hang out with somebody, not somebody like me, but my fledgling podcast, let's be real. This was really just more of a, hey, let's hang out and chat. And if people are listening and watching, then bonus. But the fact that you all were willing to take some time out to share your experience with me just means the world. So thank you for being part of my life. And I wish you all so much love and happiness and lots of smoochies and good times, especially knowing that Keelan's going to New York. I can say that without making anybody feel sad. And I hope we do this again sometime. Let's revisit maybe September 22nd,
Gladly.
Tom. And
Yeah.
it's kind of an anniversary of yours, right? Maybe we'll get back and see how things are going then.
Tie it into Rita's music. We can just have Love Me in September on loop in the background of the
That's
whole
what I was
podcast.
thinking. Keelan, you're reading my mind, buddy. Absolutely. So
Everyone.
I'm always plugging Rita's music.
I love it. As you
Did you
should.
plug that I have a show on Wednesday or no?
Oh yeah, plug. You have a show on Wednesday.
I did not plug that yet.
Now, while my laptop died, I have a show on Wednesday, the 19th of February. Not sure what day this is coming out, but it's at Arlene's Grocery on the Lower East Side in Manhattan. And yeah, music's on Spotify. But yeah, if you're in New York or around New York, come to my show on Wednesday. You can meet the winners
That's
sitting on
fantastic.
the floor.
And for those anybody listening who's not in the New York area, we will post links to Instagram and Spotify for everybody here on the Hopecast network. That's the network that Reality Redux is on. There's a a family of about 7 shows that are on that network. So we're working to make some stuff that people like to listen to, and I hope folks will tune in because you guys, I love hearing stories of love, especially in a world that is seemingly more and more divided. And we need more wholesome love, meet cute stories like these. So thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Happy Valentine's Day, and everybody tune in to season 3 of The Floor. Let's see what happens, and let's root for the Met Gala gal, because now I've got somebody at the top of my
Yay!
list. I'm hoping she goes far.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun to watch her.
It will be fun.
I cannot wait for our double date.
Yay! We'll see you next week.
See you
I'm
next
so excited. You guys, I'm so jealous. I hope you have a great time. Good.
We'll
good
send
to see
photos,
all
don't
of
worry.
you.
Yeah.
And just, we'll pause here, but just keep the app rolling. If you've got to walk away from your computer for a bit, that's fine. But it looks like there's some time to upload
Okay.
still. Most of you are like 99%, but
Yeah,
if
we
you could
got
hang on just for a
99%
few
over
minutes,
here.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I got 99 on my side.
Is
Okay.
that like because it's been sitting at 99% for quite a while? Is it stuck?
Yeah, Lindsay and Tom's 99, Keelan's 99, Rita's 100. It's almost there. Just hang on, and I'll send you a text to log off. Okay? When
I just feel like producer Jen is gonna die when she gets a picture of the 4 of us together.
yes, she will.
Oh, I'm going to text it to her.
Oh yeah.
She didn't work on season 3, or maybe she left after season 3 or something.
Uh-huh.
I think I saw that on Instagram because she indicated like she's like that was like my best show. Like I had a feeling she moved on from it. I did hear, and I think it's still the thing. Is it April that some of the producers from Ireland were supposed to come to Nashville for a visit?
Yeah.
I had heard
Yeah.
that, so I am planning to go and maybe crash a party of some kind. And then we're having a reunion in July in Ireland. We're going to go see Virginia perform in concert with Rita and
Very cool.
Ryan, and so I've got that on my plate too. I can't wait. So I'll
Oh,
see you
I
guys in
forgot to say
person.
that Tommy's also playing in my show with me.
Really,
Awesome.
Yeah, Tommy's in my band.
Next week.
I love that. I love that so
I
much.
know I can't go. I'm gonna be out of town. Like I fly back in that night, unfortunately, from a work trip. But we'll...
You did. You know what? I think I saw that you got a new gig, Lindsay.
I
Did I see
did.
that? What are you? Can I ask? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, well, first things first, I want to say that I took almost all of last year off to travel, and it was so much fun. I quit my last job last December, and then I traveled. Like Tom and I spent a month in Asia together last like February, March, which was amazing. But yes, in November I started a new role at a company called Paradox doing software sales. It is really, really cool HR automation technology. So it automates all of the steps in recruiting for a recruiter. So basically, let's say you're a store manager at a McDonald's. And you're super busy and you're managing people, and the last thing you want to do is like call people to confirm interviews and look at resumes. We screen them, we schedule them, we automate all of that, so the store manager just has to show up to the interview.
Nice. And did you have a background in sales before taking time off? Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing sales for 14 years.
That doesn't surprise me. You've got a good like front-facing persona. I think you're probably pretty successful. I'm excited that you found your way back to something that you like. That's fabulous.
Yeah, I really like it so far. And it's cool to move into like the AI software space. I was selling advertising before that, but I've been wanting to move into like more of a technology.
That's awesome.
more
So
focus.
you're doing sales. Tom's writing and working on his manuscript. Rita's making amazing music, and Keelan is still teaching the kiddos. I think. Rocking the education platform. I'm still teaching older kiddos, but the same thing. So it looks like we all are doing great.
Former.
And I think Tom was a teacher, right?
Was, yeah.
Yep. It doesn't
I
surprise
left,
me.
I left right before COVID hit. I left. That's
Okay.
that's a long story. That's another podcast.
Next time we'll have an educate. We'll bring all the teachers from the floor on to talk shop. For
Oh,
a
we can have
podcast.
Miss
I think that'd be fun
Beans.
because there are a lot of us. A lot of
There's
teachers were on
so
the floor.
many teachers on.
Yeah.
the
So
floor.
many.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Half,
All right. What, Rita?
it was half actors and half teachers.
Yeah, and influencers. There were a few little influencers.
lot of
I like to
comedians
think we're
involved.
influencers. You just influence people on how to create romance. I think it's lovely. All
I
right,
love
you
when
guys.
your season, somebody's like, Rita's a theater kid, so she's gonna go for
Right.
Shakespeare.
I saw that. Yeah, you and Talia and Jane, like that whole little like theater kid corner there.
Mhm.
It's so much posturing on the floor. It's so interesting to see. And I think season 3 maybe has a little more of it. I can't tell after the
Do you know
premiere, but
anything about season 3? Do
what?
you know anything about season 3? Like, did you know anybody behind the scenes?
I do. So I've worked in the last month kind of the same way I sent everybody Instagram invites without having any picture or bio. Gosh, I can't believe what a noob I was. I'm such a noob. I'm such a dork. But
You're a go-getter, okay? You're a go-getter. You got all of us on your show.
I did. I'm really right.
I
I'm really.
added everyone myself too. I added a lot of people myself because I'm nosy.
I just was like, hey, I want to connect with people. So I've been in the last month or two trying to connect with season 3 folks, and so on the podcast on Thursday nights we recap each weekly episode, and I have a series of season 1, 2, and 3 contestants on each week to talk about the show of the week and just kind of give perspectives from each season. I've reached out to both of you to ask. I know you gave me your availability.
Yeah.
I've already got the schedule made. I've been meaning to send that out. I have you on for the finale for sure, because I'd really like to have you guys on for that, and I'll send out those dates when they're like
Yeah,
locked
we'll be
in.
there.
And honestly, I'd be willing to have you any week you're available. I just didn't want to like monopolize your goodwill.
I love to talk.
Okay, so I mean, you can come on Thursday night this week if you want.
The introvert that loves to talk.
Yeah, I know.
Once
That's
again,
a little.
Tom and Lindsay, you're proving that you two are the same as Rita and I.
You really are. It's
I
like
always say you can be shy and annoying.
It's not
Sometimes
annoying.
shy people are also
Not
annoying.
annoying.
yes, you can.
I say that
Right
about
answer.
me.
Good
People are
answer,
like,
Tom.
you don't
Good
seem
answer.
Shy. I'm like, no, I am shy. I'm just when I speak, I'm annoying. But then
I
people
also
don't think,
do
oh,
a
she's
lot
shy.
when I-
People think, oh, I think she hates me.
Well,
I
when you sing,
No.
you're not annoying. When you
No,
sing,
it-
you're quite lovely.
That's why.
When
So
you
I'll send you know
speak,
what,
you're not
Lindsay,
annoying.
Tom. I'll send you. You're welcome to come on this Thursday. It would be lovely to have you. We're going to recap episodes 1 and 2 from this
We
week.
can't Thursday.
Um,
We have a Broadway show that we're going to.
You're going to
What
Broad.
show?
Which one?
We're gonna go see Urinetown.
You're in
Oh.
town. Ooh,
Jordan
good.
Fisher.
Well,
I
I'll send
know.
you. I'll send you. Like,
And Rainn Wilson.
oh wow. Well,
Oh,
I'll send you some
yeah.
weekly updates, and you can come on anytime. You know that you have all of you have a standing invitation. I think it's fun to bring people together from different experiences and just kind of compare. I think it's a hoot. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna stop recording, and I think the 99% will flip to 100. So, thanks for taking the time, and I love all of you, and I'm so glad that we've crossed paths in this
We love
crazy,
Thanks for having us,
crazy
Angie.
thing called life. So, you take care, everybody. Okay, I'll be in touch.
Yeah, take care.
Love you, Angie.
Bye.
Bye. Love you too, guys. Bye. Mwah. See ya. Thanks, guys. Okay, I hit stop record. Let's see. It should flip over.
Okay, yeah.
Keelan's at
do we
99.